Is this gouache the best you can get for the price? I've been listening to you because last time I have been testing Holbein Gouache, which is the most expensive gouache you can get, by the way, for $74 for tubes. Oh my gosh. And a lot of you advised me to use Holbein Gouache, and I wanted to test it. And by the way, they have a wonderful beginner set with the 3 primaries I love, white and black. So I don't need black usually, but I took it because it was in the box. And if you want to know how to mix any color you want with just this set, you can go to my video that is listed somewhere. So let's go and test this one, and I will paint a portrait with it because portraits are what I prefer to paint. I will take a brush per color, so it's easier for me to not cleaning the brushes between each swatch. This blue is really gorgeous. Looks like it's really, really vivid. It's a pure cyan. Makes a really nice purple. And to make this little one here, I should use the yellow with a tiny bit of pink inside. If I go the other way around, it will be too difficult to get enough yellow. So it's easier if you place the dark color inside the light color. But now my yellow has some pink in it, and I have to clean it. Add a tiny bit. Ugh, the blue is so powerful. All right, so I think this one will go here. And I have to clean it. Really, the cyan has a power in it. Woohoo! And now add some yellow inside the blue, and I will get a nice cobalt green. I happen to have some black, so let's mix some black in the purple to see. Yeah, it's really powerful. The black is overwhelming and taking everything away. So I'm going very liquid just to have an idea of what the black is doing. I think if I add black to the yellow, I will get something like a khaki. And what about a bit of black to the pink? Just a tiny, tiny bit. It gives me a nice under layer of purple to my dark color. And look at the tubes to check the opacity. How is it written here? Oh, I just found out. There is something written here. It says, gouache will dry out, crack, and may fall from the palette. Yes, if you let your gouache sitting on the palette, it will turn out to flakes. But there are ways to prevent this. And by the way, I just wrote an article on my blog about this. If you want to check it out, it's linked below. So what about the opacity I was saying? There should be a standard about this. I don't know what it is. So series A, maybe light fastness. Yeah, I think the opacity is this circle with a line in the middle. And black should have, yes, black has a completely filled circle. It's white, it's not very intuitive, but you've got the idea. So if it's filled, it's opaque, and obviously you expect black to be opaque. You expect white to be half opaque. Oh, interesting. And yellow is not opaque at all. It is, I wouldn't say transparent, but maybe it is transparent. The blue one is half, and the pink is, transparent as well. So let's test the opacity. And I'm taking the pure color with no water and placing it on the black line. Okay, so as expected, yellow is a bit transparent, but that's something you really are not surprised with. The blue is more opaque. Black. Black should cover everything. Even if you dilute it, you will get it a bit transparent, if that's what you're looking for. This is the beauty of gouache. You can really do whatever you want with it. Pink is a bit transparent, and white is maybe not what you expect. Yes, white is more opaque than yellow. Yeah, as they say on the tubes. So I would say this white has a good coverage. Now, the good thing would be to be able to get it in large tubes, because 15 milliliters is really not enough, because this is the color you need the most of it. Let's make some blending. You know what? It's blending really well. Okay, I won't make any mixes with it because basically this is the 4 primary sets that I've been using in my former video where I show you how to mix anything from just 4 colors. So I send you back to it if you want to learn how to mix everything. Now I want to use this paint in an actual painting, because this is how you really test something. It's by actually painting something, not making exercises. Did you see how the light is flattering today? Amazing. Well, never mind, if you're still here, that's because you like this video. And please boop the like button so more people can see this video, because YouTube is, you know, like a pet. You have to pet it so it's happy and it shows your video to more people. Merci. My challenge is to use only the 3 primaries plus black and white to paint this image. And by the way, if you want to learn how to paint this portrait exactly, I have added it to my gouache portrait masterclass. So if you're already a student, just go and watch the new lesson that is just released. And if you're not a student, you know exactly what to do. It's in the description below the video. I begin with the background. At first, I thought I would just leave the background around the shape of the face, but then I thought it would be great to integrate the color like an underlayer, because having an underlayer with gouache really helps the color to be cohesive together. And this is something I want to test with this new Holbein Gouache. And I need an underlayer under the skin as well. I know I will be covering everything, so I can go on every part of the face, including the eyes and the mouth, because after all, the mouth is just another part of the skin. So placing this color everywhere, and you notice this is a very liquid consistency, as it's just my foundation to build my layers on top of it. So far, I really like the consistency of the Holbein Gouache. It's really creamy, very soft, easy to mix. You can get a very small amount of color and you get a lot of pigments inside. This is really a good quality. I want this painting to be quite patchy, but still there is a bit of blending involved. And one way to blend is just to rub the new color next to the previous one while it's still a bit fresh, so you can see if this is really integrating together. And this is really going well. You can tell that the pigments are really strong, especially the magenta. Can you tell how vivid this is? Well, the good point is I'm able to cover it if it's too hard. I think maybe this is one of my favorite gouache brands so far. It's really opaque. You can really cover a dark color with a light one on top of it. Of course, if you rub a lot, you will lift up the layer under. But other than that, it's really very pleasant to work with this gouache. It seems that all my techniques work fine with this brand, especially when it comes to rubbing the paint on the paper to give it more softness, because sometimes the brush is great, but your finger is better. Blending 2 colors with a clean brush works very well. Also, I'm really astonished by the quality of this gouache so far. I've made a lot of researches about how much costs gouache. And you don't want to compare the tube, because tubes have different amount of paint inside. So if you compare 14 milliliters with 37 milliliters, it doesn't mean anything. So I have checked out the prices on different websites, and I came to a price per 100 milliliter. So this is something you can compare between different brands. And if you look at this table, I know it's not sexy, but bear with me. You can see that the most expensive is Horadam Schmink, as we know, and that the less expensive just below is Winsor & Newton. This is not what I expected. And Holbein is at $43, which is a very low price compared to $67 for Winsor & Newton. And the quality is really cool. Of course, if you have special discounts, I don't know, because you are a good customer or because an art store is closing, it's a bit different. But this is a regular price everyone can get. So I think that Holbein will become my favorite gouache brand because the quality you get for the price, it's really great. Winsor & Newton is fine for sure, but it's more expensive. So after that, it depends where you live in the world, if you have access to Holbein easier than Winsor & Newton or vice versa, I don't know. Well, here I'm just having everything coming from abroad, so I don't really mind. I'm also using French brands that I don't review because it's not easy to find them outside of France. But for the record, I use a lot of Linel, which is a French brand by Lefranc et Bourgeois. Lefranc and Bourgeois, as you would say. So let me know in comments, which brand are you using? If you have something else to advise me so I can test it and let you know what I think of it. And now you can go watch the Schmink Horadam paint review because it's a bit different from the Holbeins.